Have you ever felt alone, even in a room full of people who love you? Like you could tell them something that really mattered to you, and they could not. They can smile, but they couldn't truly get it. Or have you ever needed help, and instead of asking, you just handed it yourself because deep down it felt like you would be a burden? If you know that feeling, I want to tell you something. A lot of time, it doesn't start in adulthood. It starts way back in a home where someone was always there, but really never there. I'm Dr. Katia Batista, a psychiatrist. Today, we are talking about one of the things that shapes a child the most. And almost nobody notices the difference between a parent who is truly present and a parent who is around. Because being in the same house every day is not the same as being there for your child. And as you will see, this doesn't only affect the adult they will become one day, it can affect the child right now. Maybe a child you know, maybe the child you used to be. Let's talk about it. Let me start with something I hear from good, hardworking parents all the time. They say, almost hurt, but I'm there every single day. I cook, I clean, I get them to school. I'm always home. What more do you want from me? And it's a fair question. But here's my honest answer. Being in the same room is not the same as being present. You can be at home every day and still not really be there. You have probably seen it. A small child runs in, excited. Look, what I made. And the adult, eyes on the phone, says, "Mhm, nice, very good," and never even looks up. Now, picture an older child, a teenager, who had a hard day. A friend turned on them, or they failed a test they actually studied for, or someone said something cruel. They come home with it, sitting heavy on their chest, and nobody asks. Nobody notices the look on their face. So they go to their room, they close the door, and they learn to carry it alone. Do that enough times, and that door stays closed for good. Here's what happens in so many homes, and I see it constantly. The parents know everything about the outside of their child, what they ate, what grade they got, whether their room is clean, but they don't know the inside. They couldn't tell you what their child is afraid of, or what's been worrying them lately, or what happened that made them go quiet. really there becomes the everyday answer, the child learns something about themselves. And as a psychiatrist, that lesson is the part I want to talk about because it doesn't only show up decades later, it shows up now in your child. Here's something I really want parents to hear because it changes everything. You don't have to wait 20 years to see the effects of this. They can start showing up much earlier, sometimes in childhood, like I said, often in teenage years. Let me walk you through how it unfolds. It begins with something we don't talk about enough. A child learns to handle their emotions by having an adult help them. When a child is upset and someone puts words to it, no, you are frustrated. That's okay. Let's take a breath. The child slowly learns to name what they feel. They sit with it and to reach out when it's too much. That is a skill. Nobody is born with it. It has to be taught in thousands of small moments. But a child whose feelings are never noticed never gets those lessons. They don't learn to name what they feel or to manage it or to ask for help. They just learn to push it all down. And a child who cannot handle what they feel on the inside will show it on the outside. And here's where a lot of parents get surprised because it often doesn't look like sadness at all. In childhood, that can look like a kid who's anxious and clingy, who melts down over small things, who cannot sleep, or the opposite, a child who goes quiet, the easy one who never gives any trouble, when really they have just given up on being heard. Sometimes it comes out in the body, headaches, stomach aches. The child who feels sick before school again and again. The parents take them to the doctor. The test come back normal, but the child is still suffering. Sometimes what we are seeing is not a problem in the stomach at all. It's emotional distress that has nowhere else to go. Then comes adolescence. And by this point, the picture often changes again. This is where it can get more serious because a teenager who never felt understood or valued at home becomes especially vulnerable to looking for that feeling somewhere else, in the wrong friendships, in relationships that are not good for them, in risky behavior, sometimes in substances, not because they are bad kids, because every young person needs to feel they belong somewhere. And if they don't find it at home, they will look for it wherever they can. Now I have to be honest with you as a psychiatrist. None of this means a busy parent causes a mental illness. No, 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 no. These films are always a mix of many factors: genetics, school, life events. It's never one single cause, but a child who feels alone with their pain is a child carrying it without help. And the parent who is truly present is the one who notices, who catches early the sleeping grades, the child who suddenly went quiet, the teenager who is not himself anymore, and steps in before it grows. That's what emotional presence really protects. Not just the adult they will become, but the child and the teenager they are right now. And if that child grows up without ever feeling truly seen, those early lessons don't just go away. They harden into belief that adult carries for life. The child who learns what I feel doesn't matter becomes the adult who cannot even tell you what they are feeling, who says, I'm fine, while they are falling apart inside because no one ever showed real interest in their inner world. The child who learns I shouldn't bother anyone becomes the adult who cannot ask for help, who carries everything alone, who feels like a burden the moment they need something. The child who learns I'm not worth someone's attention becomes the adult who doubts their own worth or needs constant approval to feel okay or feels invisible even in a room full of people. Over the years, I have seen experiences like this play an important role in many adults who struggle with anxiety, low self esteem, trouble asking for help. Is never the only cause. Like I said before, these things are always a mix of many factors. But growing up next to someone who was there in body but not in attention can be a real part of it. Let me give you one example. A man come to me successful, married, surrounded by people, and completely alone. At least it was he was feeling. He couldn't say, I'm struggling. His words said he felt like a stranger, like there was a wall. When he looked back, his childhood wasn't violent. Nobody hurt him. His parents were always home, but they never once asked him how he felt. They fed him, clothe him, and look right past him. So he learned very young that his inner world didn't matter to anyone. And he built a whole adult life on that one belief. That's what it means for a child to grow up and see. Nobody has to raise a hand, but here's the good news, and it's bigger than you will feel. Here's the part that should take a weight off your shoulder. Being present is not about being there every minute of the day. It's not about being perfect. It's about a few real things. And you can start them today. The first is simple attention. When your child talks to you, stop and look at them. Put the phone down. Let them see in your face that what they are saying matters. That alone tells a child you are worth my time. The second is paying attention to what they feel, not just what they do, instead of only, did you finish your homework? Try, you seem a little down today. What happened? When you notice a child's feelings out loud, you teach them that their inner world is real and there is someone who cares about it. And the first one, this is the one I most want you to hear. Being present also means knowing your child as a person, knowing what excites them, what scares them, who their friends are, what they are struggling with, what matters to them. Some parents live in the same house as their child for years and never really learn those things. So get curious about who your child actually is. Ask, they listen to the answer. It also means showing up, being there for the school meeting, the game, the moment they look out into the crowd to see if someone came. A child who scans the room and finds your face learns something they keep forever. I matter to someone. Somebody shows up for me. And you don't have to fix everything. A child doesn't need you to solve every problem. Most of the time, they just need to feel that someone saw them, that someone was really there. Those small things build a different kind of child and a different kind of adults. One who knows their feelings matter, who can ask for help, who doesn't feel alone in a crowd. Now, if you have recognized yourself in the hard part of this, please don't sit there feeling guilty because most parents who are there but not there, those ones are not cold or careless. They are exhausted. They are working two jobs. They are worried about money and their mind is full. And many of them are doing exactly what was done them. If no one has ever really present for you as a child, no one taught you how to do it. You cannot easily give something you never received. That's not your fault. You were a child once too, but you are the adult now. And that means you can be the one who learns to do it differently starting today. And here's something important. You can be present even on a hard day. You can say to your child, I'm really tired right now and my head is full, but you matter to me. Give me 10 minutes. I am all yours. That one sentence tells the child the truth that you are human and that even when life is heavy, they still matter to you. You don't have to be a perfect parent. You just have to be a present one in the moments that count. So let's go back to where we started. That feeling of being alone, even around people who love you. For a lot of us, that started with being unseen as children. And here's why this matters so much right now. There is a child or a teenager in your life today who is learning in this very season whether they are in a world matters to anyone, whether it's worth speaking up, whether someone will really listen, or whether they are better off closing the door and handing it alone. You get to answer that for them, not by being perfect, not but being there every second, just by stopping, looking up, getting to know who they really are, and letting them know, I see you, I'm listening, what you feel matters to me. That one message can help protect a child from carrying that loneliness into adulthood. And it costs you nothing but your attention.
And Dr. Katia Batista, psychiatrist, this was the second video in our series on childhood. The first one was about the words children never forget. I will leave it for you to watch next. And tell me in the comments as child, did you feel truly seen or more alone? Or what's one small thing someone did that you feel like you matter? Subscribe and like if you would like more videos like this. Take care of yourself and take care of the little ones. See you in the next one. Thank you.